Well, today, Bethany and I are out in the orchard. She was out here with her brother earlier today. Look at how well this cherry tree has done. Never, ever have I seen it so loaded. This is going to be the first year that we're able to get cherry pie. Last year would have been a good year, but we had a late frost. Look at that.
Very good. We already got enough.
The whole inside of the canopy is like that. The tree's too big to net, and I used to net these all the time. Last year, maybe in the spring, I took the net off of this one because it was getting too big, and I took the fence off of the outside. And that deer damage, he came in here or she came in and ate some of my lower leaves off. But we had already picked this one clean. The upper parts of the canopies feed the birds, so reaching up there wasn't a problem. The local nursery had the best cherry trees, and these are the only 2 cherry trees in the lifetime of our farm here, 12 years or so, that I have not had to replant these 2. So planted them both at the same time and doing really well. We're gonna have some cherry pie.
We need enough to can cherries so that we can make lots every year.
That's right, cherry pie filling and stuff for the whole year.
Yep. That would be delicious. To help. So we've got 2 containers. Well, he's on his way. He's having work getting dressed.
So I believe the plan is hatching as I'm picking cherries. We have so many. I am going to be doing homemade canned cherry pie filling so that we have that cherry pie filling for the year. I was hoping to have just enough to make a pie or 2, and my kids have been out here nibbling on these and bringing me in a half a bowl this size. So I was thinking that there weren't as many cherries. I'm up on the orchard ladder up into the center and the top, and my oh my, there is a lot. It's not easy to pick on this orchard ladder. I really need to look into a new aluminum orchard ladder. This is just a very old wooden ladder from a apple orchard. And I'll tell you, it creaks and groans every time you move. Look at that. Isn't that great? This is going to be the best harvest of something sweet in a long time. Just a tremendous amount of cherries. We have been at this for probably an hour. I stopped to get the ladder, and my goodness, we've probably got at least 8 quarts of cherries picked, and there's probably at least that left to pick. So the kids have been bringing cherries in all day and yesterday, and I didn't know how many cherries we had. I had picked up strawberries this morning, anticipating making strawberry rhubarb jam. I have got some cherries to process. So in our house, pizza night usually equals movie night. So we've got a couple of pies going here for pizza pie, and it got me thinking about this cherry pie. I am gonna sit down during movie time. I have got this Leafite or Leafite. It is a Dutch cherry stoner, and you can just fill up this little top, and one by one, pow, 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 de-stone or de-pit your cherries. So when I used this a couple of years ago, I was still getting quite small cherries, and I didn't have a lot of success with it, and I found out why. So I actually had researched this at the time. I wanted one that I didn't have to squeeze by hand, so that's the reason I got this. I can, like as it's shown here, just set it up with a bowl, and your pits are going into the collection container, and this handle is spring loaded. So this is the part that I didn't understand. This little opening right here is for the cherry pit to fall through. They give you these little silicone inserts for your cherry pit, and the spring is supposed to push through there. and I hadn't inserted that in there. So I think we're going to have much better luck this time, just based on the size of the cherry. It's not going to go through, and it's going to push that pit right through. And if you're wondering about getting kids involved, they were so involved in this cherry picking. They probably ate a couple of pounds. I had Bethany do some math for us. This is Bethy math. She likes to do a long addition, and she didn't sit there figuring it out bit by bit. We got 23 pounds in all of our containers. They probably ate a few pounds too, so I bet you we're at least 25 to 27 pounds of cherries, primarily from the one single tree, and there's probably another pound or two left out there that weren't quite ripe yet, and I would guess, we finally got some rain the other day, they might redden up here a little bit and get a little bit more to add to this for another dessert. I am guessing we're going to get at least 10, possibly 10 quarts. Or so I know some people did pint and a half size, which is the asparagus jar. We like to do deep dish pies, and I believe they're 9-inch. So I'm going with the quart size because I usually have to open 3 cans of store-bought pie filling if I'm going to do it that way. And I don't like how little cherry they put in it and how much sugary goo they put in it. It just says diabetes to me, and I want to do this homemade and just make the switch now that I finally have my own cherries. So a thing to watch for is if you have small cherries, the first 2 were real small. Watch to see if 2 come out, but there's that perfect. So it reloads the next one. See that? Ah, they're getting gummed up in there. So see, there's this little, whoop, see right there? Right down in it. So my catch bowl is a little bit wrong sized here. Or maybe I overfilled my, there we go. Yeah, see, you get too many. Push. Ah! So we don't want to be breaking any teeth. So we're gonna go through these. And if you don't have one of these, you can do it by hand, just like that. That's no big deal. I have a tendency to I don't like to do them all by hand just because I have a tendency to have a sensitivity to the acidity in fruits. Oh, yeah, see, it pierced it. Yeah. So I'm sure once I get going at a steady clip here, then it'll go well. I'm just double checking them because I'm not watching real close. Yeah, see? Doing good. And the thing is, a lot of times when you are making homemade pie filling, it tells you to add extra juice from the store, and I don't want to do that. So any juice that collects in here, keep that, and then maybe have some white grape juice or a mix of that on hand. You know, like how they have that ocean spray stuff. I know that one got missed. So, that's our pitting. We're going to go ahead and keep at this. And I think we're going to be doing some pie filling tomorrow.
Taking out the seeds. He's using the cherry picker.
You need a refill. So if you've watched the channel with much regularity, you know that Dad and Trey are tractoring guys. Jack just recently turned 17 years old, and he doesn't do the field work. He helps with some of the heavy lifting and things like that. His dad thought it would be a really good idea last night to get him more involved in the farming practices, and he's learning he likes the farming. It's the labor that he doesn't like so much. So running a tractor, he's found he really likes, and he's realizing why Trey enjoys it. So he got put to work today with the tractor and a single hay rake. Can't load him up with a double just yet. And we are raking our second cutting. We've been so hit and miss between rains that the cherries turned out perfectly. We got so much cherry pie filling. So I believe we'll be doing something with that here with some cooking. Stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the subscribe button or the notifications, and then you can follow along in our different homesteading things, our home repairs, our farming. So he's got a little bit more raking to do here. You can see right here is the line. I think we're going to cut up there some more. They just kind of clipped and took care of what isn't really seeded yet, but it's growing from throwing manure on it. And Dad and Trey have been working along moving things around the farm, while Jack has been helping do the field work today. And in the meantime, while they've been doing that, Bethany and I have been in the house making homemade cheese. We're doing a farmhouse cheddar today. We made a triple batch of homemade pizza, so everyone's just kind of in there getting their bellies full before they head back out here. Jack just finished for a water break, and he's gonna get back to that. And in the meantime, I've been jumping around from other jobs. I had a chair that needed some wood filler. Clothes are on the line. Just a beautiful summer day. It has been so nice to have a little bit of a break today and yesterday from the extreme heat and humidity, that we're getting a lot of little jobs done that have been kind of on hold. And like today, I noticed, boy, the lilac bushes are just growing out of control. So I'm gonna go grab some loppers and trim that up a little bit. That's one thing about the rain, the high heat, these temperature and rain swings we've been having over and over. Things are growing like crazy. So post lunch, I was able to cut back a bunch of these bushes so that Trey can get through here with his riding lawnmower. I tell you, okay, he had his 13th birthday. He's had the mower for a year. He got that second orange mower going, and he's been working on other properties doing that. He's a money-making machine now. He is saving us so much time, and he loves to do it. That is also a good thing because it's putting Jack in the field doing work out there. I knew if I stopped to check on the cows and see what their mooing problem was about, I'd miss him. He just finished the last of his work. Look at this proper young chap. Good to have another helper. He's a quick learner. Hi. So I was saying previously, there's not going to be a lot of tonnage, but there's some hay. That grass, it was stunted. It didn't want to grow. You can see it's down at the bottom, and where the sickle bar cut, it hardly cut anything off the top because it just hadn't been growing. Without the alfalfa, there wouldn't be probably much any hay at all. So it's mid-afternoon. They wanted to start in raking earlier so that you wouldn't have that leaf shatter and lose your leaves from. They wanted to start in raking early this morning so that you won't lose your leaves and have that leaf shatter that happens, you know, with your alfalfa. I'd say it looks pretty good. There's going to be an amount of hay, so we'll talk to him. I know he wanted us to do some round bales. We still got enough square bales to get us by until we maybe work on this next section here or one of the other fields. Well, the bad thing about Sundays is things close early. I was busy doing a lot of stuff this afternoon. I got to Tractor Supply and they didn't have baler twine in stock, and they're getting a truck tomorrow. I didn't have time to run over to a different Tractor Supply, but I was heading in the direction of another one. But by the time I got there, they had closed 13 minutes before I got there. The employees were zipping out of the parking lot. There were a couple still there, but I wasn't gonna knock on the window and be like, hey, I need this. So I got home just before dark. The sun is going down. It's time to milk the cow. And he is out of twine, so he's stopping for the night. I'll have to run out first thing in the morning when they open and get some more, but he's got a lot more bales here than I thought he would, and he's quite a ways off still to get more. So I counted it up. He's got 27 bales here for not having the grass grow. I mean, I would have to check our notebook for comparison, but he's still got a lot of hay here. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 rows coming from the waterway. It's not coming all the way up here, so he's got a few more bales still down there to collect. We'll check back tomorrow and see how we did. So that last section of the video with the round bales, normally he does that in the whole field in about 3 or 4 sections. He did 1 section in what normally would be 2. This is green and nice. We've had a good amount of rain, so it grew better. In just, you know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, the difference that it turns out is just great. So we've got some nice looking hay. He's gonna have this round baled today. They kept saying possible rain last night and tonight. Now the weather, I told you before, we checked the weather all day long, several times a day. It was real cloudy and gray looking up over this way. Last night when we were finishing up, it just passed, no problem, no rain till Sunday. So it's time to head back to the house, get on with the next job. I think I'm going to be moving bales while he is baling today, doing a good teamwork thing. Always doing good things. It's always him and I working together as a team, or him and the boys working together as a team. And it's just a good way to do it. Nobody's out getting into trouble. Everybody's busy working, and then we always have a nice rest and reward ourselves from our hard work. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy those playlists while you're waiting for the next video to come out. Remember to hit that notifications bell so you get an alert, text message, when that next video comes out, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.